What's good, gang? We back at it again with another reaction. What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, man. We got a good video today, man. Shout out to the homie Read My Soul, man. Been chopping it up with him a little bit, man, and I see that he's a sneakerhead too. So I feel like we kind of share a little bit in common. My man is a sneakerhead and hip hop enthusiast, and that's why I feel even more inspired to move that way, because I see that the two communities absolutely connect, man. He had one of the really good takes in this whole Joey Badass New York kind of commentary. So that kind of put me Justin Hunt kind of put me on the radar for him, the company man. So that's what we're here for. Just follow the sub to him. Yeah, thank you, Carney. I appreciate you. Yeah, let's make sure we subbing and following, supporting anybody we react to, man, because honestly, we're just giving an opinion on what they're talking about too. And I never want to get into that line where that space where, you know, we don't really do any work. So we always gonna give an opinion and try to have a dialogue over here. But shout out to the homie Read My Soul. Like I said, make sure I hit that like button and subscribe. So his question is, which I think is not a question I've seen very often, is what happened to the medium three. Now we know the big three. We know who that is. Well, at least we had an idea of who it was. I think the numbers and the places have probably changed in the big three. But I do believe that you know, we all kind of have an understanding of what that is. Now, when it comes to the medium three, listen, the people that he has in a thumbnail, I definitely would have considered them the medium three. Guys like Big Sean, Meek Mill, Wale, guys who are really talented, but just for some reason have never taken over like a top spot. Y'all can let me know why y'all think that is in the comments below. But for Big Sean, I'm gonna just say it, I think it was the braids. But that's a joke. Let's go ahead and tap into this video, man. Shout out to Read My Soul. Let's get into it, man. Make sure I hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into it, man.
To the medium three. Now what happened to the medium three? Now you may be asking yourself, what is the medium three, Reed? Well, the medium three is that mid-tier in hip-hop that never quite reached the mega star status. I'm talking about your Wale's, your Big Crits, your Meek Mills, your Big Sean's, your Busta Rhymes.
What happened to Big Crit? Big Crit was moving, bro. I think on the production side, the rap side. Wale, on the other end, I will say I feel like Wale probably cracked through and then fell back through. Like Wale got through the ceiling and then fell through. He had like a run in like 2011, 2012. Like he kind of had that kind of run where he was up there. Big Sean kind of got there, and I don't think he got as far as Wale. And I guess you could let me know if you think how you feel about that in the comments.
You're Ludacris. Those artists that were maybe selling
Ludacris? Listen, all right, we only 19 seconds into the video. Ludacris, honestly, in my GOAT list is up there. He's probably gonna find his way into my top 10. Top 15. Ludacris is so underrated, man. But I definitely believe Luda has made it to that point. Luda has smash hits. Smash hits. Let's see what he got to say.
100 to 200,000 first week, and your Busta Rhymes, your Ludacris. Those artists that were maybe selling 100 to 200,000 first week and just hadn't quite cracked mainstream success like a Drake or a Kendrick Lamar. Today, the mid-tier in hip hop is all but completely gone.
It is though. It is though. Either you're really good or
so
you're
what happened to the medium three?
Not popping.
Into it. Let's talk about it.
I'm excited for this one. It's controlled from behind the curtain. The baby proved that to me. Explain that point.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy.
You said it's controlled from behind the curtain? Shout out William, 305. It's controlled from behind the curtain. The baby proved that to me. prove what? Oh, I mean that there's handlers. We know that there's handlers. The baby was doing this. I don't know if that's necessarily controlled though. I think that was cancel culture at its finest. I don't think he was blackballed in the sense of like, just don't let him win, because he was winning. He kind of did that to himself. But I kind of see what you're saying.
Boy, Read My Soul, and I'm back with another video for you. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is being blessed. Yes, if you're watching this, you're on the right side of history. Get up, go make it an amazing day. And my favorite saying of 2025 is, I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to be me. And if you're looking for the right opinion, I don't know where you can find it, but if you're looking for my opinion, you are in the right place.
Hey, I might have to steal that.
I know you're watching this and you're like, oh, I want to hear him explain this medium 3 card. You might have watched FD Signifier's video where he kind of explained what happened to the mid-tier card in hip-hop.
Busta has had a career full of some of the biggest hits of the shiny suit era.
But Unc was showing his age there. He was talking about Busta Rhymes. Now listen, I grew up listening to Busta Rhymes. I remember Busta. I'm from New York, so I remember Touch It remix.
Bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it.
Oh, you gotta remember. Wait. Busta's way older than Break Your Neck, but Break Your Neck, I might have broke my neck listening to that. Just pop your head into you. Break your neck. Come on, break your neck. You know what I'm saying?
The last time Busta was like completely like everywhere, at least for me in New York. But I don't want to go that far back. Shout out to FD Signifier. I actually
I've never heard of him before.
Since my Medium Sean video, I actually want to do like a Medium 3 series, but a lot happened last year and everything just kept getting pushed back and back and back. But if you haven't, definitely go check out FD Signifiers. I want to stretch this conversation a little more and give y'all 3
I gotta check him out. Wasn't it FD Signifiers?
Mid-tier card in hip hop. I like to call them the Medium 3. Now, this is not disrespect, right? Some people may hear medium and may think disrespect, but you know, they're not the big 3. Last year was the year of the big 3. And if you look at it from a certain perspective, it was the year of the big me, aka Kendrick Lamar, aka the Boogeyman.
Motherfucker, big 3, nigga, it's your big me, nigga.
I feel as though Little Baby, the Baby, Cordae, a lot of these guys should be a good medium 3. They should be that good mid card, but something has changed. And the first thing I want to talk about is cultural norms have changed.
Even though there's plenty of conversations to be had, it feels like it's only the biggest conversations and debates that seem to be sticky and get the attention in the cultural discourse right now.
The cultural norms in society don't really have any room for anything in the middle. The medium 3 is kind of like in the middle. They're not kind of like underground, but they're
I think it's because I honestly started to notice that throughout the beef. And that was one of the things I said from the beginning is we're getting such good music from the best of the best. It's going to be tough for people to crack into that sphere after this. In the same way with like Lil Baby just dropped an album, right? I don't think I'm not saying that everybody hasn't. I have not personally I haven't wanted to listen to it. And the thing about the medium 3, it depends on who you have in that mid tier. Let's not even talk about the 3. I know he's talking about the 3, but let's not even talk about the 3. Let's just talk about the middle tier, right? If the middle tier isn't providing you the best production and is lyrically viable, then you don't want to really listen to it at this current point. I'm talking about in 2025 into 2024. I like the New York drill rappers, even the Chicago drill rappers. I think there's still a space for some of those guys, but I don't even know if you put some of those guys in that mid tier. Like you said, like the Lil Babies, the Babies. Who else is in that mid tier? Like I said, I almost feel like you're either really, really good or you're really, really bad. And there's very few in the middle. But let me know who y'all think belongs in the mid tier.
Not, the mainstream.
Right.
And we live in a world of extremes.
They've got a lot of food. I've got so much food here. I've got Wingstop and Chick-fil-A.
Are these 2,000
Right.
contestants?
The world is full of crazy extremes. Everything is drastic. If you look at politics, I don't want to make it political, but if you look at politics, you're either a lefty liberal that thinks Kamala Harris is Harriet Tubman, or you are a January 6th right-winger and you were at the Capitol.
Facts. Oh my God. Hey,
There's
he
no
talking.
middle range. If you look at sports, you're either Jordan or you're a bum. LeBron either
Facts.
gonna get 6 rings or he's a scrub. He didn't even get Kobe 5 rings. He's a scrub.
Hey, look,
That's just how
that LeBron take. I'm a LeBron hater for life because it's Derrick Rose. But anyway,
life is. Life is of extremes now. We have no time and no space for anything that's in the middle. People want to be a part of something that's mega successful. Nobody wants to really build up an artist no more. People want to feel as though they're winning because, you know, in reality, there's not very many wins. There's no real middle class. If you look at economics, if you look at gaming, if your game isn't doing GTA 5 numbers, good luck. Your studio might get closed down. That's just how it is. Same thing with movies. If you're not doing $1 billion,
it's because it's so hot and cold, bro. It's polar. It's like it's like if everybody's not over here, then you're not over here. Feel me? And I feel like that's one of the things that we got a chance to see within the big three beef. It was like, I honestly feel like everybody kind of went to like Kendrick's side. Feel me? Everybody kind of went over there. Drake lost more fans than Kendrick. Kendrick gained way more fans. And everybody it's like a polar shift. There can't be like this disbursement of everyone just kind of equally having their fans. It didn't work out like that. But I'm really trying to think of medium tier artists right now. And it's like I'm drawing a blank because I'm so almost recency blinded too by all of the stuff that we've been getting.
If you're not doing these Marvel numbers, good luck getting a sequel or good luck getting another movie. Hollywood might move away from you altogether. That's why we keep seeing remakes and superhero movies, because nobody really wants to gamble anymore.
For the first time now, trying.
I need that hoodie, gang.
You don't do 300,000 first week. If you're not doing Drake numbers, you're a flop. And that's how it is in hip hop. If you're not doing Drake numbers, it's a flop. If you're doing 20,000, oh, you're a flop. Nobody wants to hear that. If you think about the demographic,
same thing Curtis King talked about.
Hip hop the most. That demographic only wants to be a part of something that seems to be the trend, that seems to be winning. This is what Drake is going through right now. As it is becoming popular to hate him, his fan base is gravitating away from him because they only want to be around him because
he's the top. Hey, that's a take. That's a take. That's a take right there, bro. Ooh, I like that take. But that also says something about the artist, though. There was nothing keeping people there other than he's the best, he's number one, he's doing number one, not necessarily, man, we love your story, we love where you came from, we know where you came from, we've watched you grow, we've seen you plant seeds and then water them, and then we've watched all of that. It's just, oh, he's number one. So it's like, it's almost like a false sense of security being over there because you can only be number one for so long. That's a great take, bro.
Received as the winner. FD Signifier made this point about the Cowboys. Same thing was with the Patriots. The Patriots, when they had Tom Brady, everybody was a Patriots fan, but they never been a boss. That's just how life is. A lot of cultural norms are based upon trends and what is seemed to be the popular thing. We want to be on a winning team. Nobody really wants to root for something that doesn't feel like a winning team.
You could even apply that to shoes, bro. Like you could even apply that to sneakers. Like Jordan 1 highs used to be it. And this is for my sneaker fans out there. Jordan 1 highs used to be the number one go-to sneaker of all, like, period. Jordan 1 highs with everything. Jeans, joggers, shorts, whatever. Now, Jordan 1 highs, they drop. Nobody buying them unless they collabs. Y'all know what I'm saying? Unless they Travis's, let's say Unions, yes, they Fragment, something like that. Nobody's buying them. Nobody's buying them at all. And that's even with a lot of really amazing OG sneakers. We just had Black Cat 3s drop over the weekend, and I don't think those really moved the needle either. And granted, it's not that they're bad, it's just the wave has moved. People have moved on to Jordan 4s and SBs and Jordan 1 lows and stuff like that. maybe everything does this, right? Like maybe everything comes back to this. Maybe everything takes a cycle and comes back. But I guess we'll see. Maybe and this could be the cycle where this could be a hip hop cycle too. We could be seeing that where people are more interested in high level everything and not the garbage that we've been getting.
Has been seen with Killer Mike and Doechii in recent memory. I can think about them. Their first week numbers were not that amazing, but Killer Mike defeated what people really wanted. What I think Travis Scott to win for Utopia. He won the Grammy for Best Rap Album, Utopia, and Travis Scott fans were upset because they were looking more at sales. Right. They weren't looking at the quality. They were looking at the quantity that Travis Scott sold.
Dog, and everybody was like, yo, I've never even heard this Killer Mike album. I never heard it before. Like, what song? How does it win? And it's like, you have to look at, I always equate it to like McDonald's versus your, you know what I'm saying, your tier 1 steakhouse or whatever that is, or your the best steakhouse in your city. Granted, they're probably making more sales per year, but this is where the quality is. And I love that comparison too, because I remember people really being upset that Travis Scott didn't win. I'm like, I didn't really even care for it because it was all filler. It was all filler in the same way that DJ Khaled was upset with Tyler. Like, bro, you don't think we gonna rock with Tyler, who writes, produces everything on his own, versus you just screaming on the track? That don't make sense.
Over what Killer Mike sold. Same thing with Doechii. Doechii just got nominated for Alligator Bites Never Heal, but people aren't looking at the quality of the album. They're looking at her first week album sales, which I think were 11 to 20,000. I think it was like 11 to 18,000, but it wasn't that much. So as cultural norm shifts, people put in their mind, oh, this can't be good because nobody's buying it. But for my second point is as cultural norms shifted, we went more into festivals. So my second point is festivals. Festivals is now how you engage with hip hop. One of my favorite artists of all time is Big Crit. 2 best shows I've ever went to was Big Crit twice. The It's Better This Way tour. BJ the Chicago Kid opened up for him. And then it was the Forever Is a Mighty Long Time album tour, which I think is Heavy Is the Head That Wear the Crown tour, with him and Saha the Prince.
Bruh. I met Saha like years ago. Big Crit had it, bro.
Those are 2 of the best hip-hop shows that I've ever been to in my life, and they were not at a festival. I personally cannot stand festivals unless I get backstage passes or something like that, or I'm like there doing I'm doing media.
I agree with you, man. I remember going to Lala, and it wasn't like an incredible experience at all. Like, Lala was not an incredible experience as far as like the walking. Like, the show itself was fire, but the people and all of that and like being extra close. This is before COVID too.
Something. I personally will never go to a festival. It is not my thing. Too many people. I can't do that. But when I went to go see Big Crit, I saw him both times at the Music Farm in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, Columbia, South Carolina has 3 major venues. If you really want to think about it, it has 4 major venues. The smallest venue that we have is the Music Farm. The second biggest venue that they have is Township Auditorium, which I believe the Music Farm is maybe like 1,000 seats. 1,000 people could fit in there. And then Township Auditorium is like 3,000. And then you have Colonial Life Arena, which is where like Kanye West was gonna come before he canceled his tour and tickets when he went crazy. But those are the 3 different venues. And then if you're Jay-Z and Beyonce, you go to William Bryce Stadium. Shout out to Willie B. I like the intimate environment of the Music Farm because I paid for the highest tier. So I basically got backstage passes. I took a picture with Big Crit. I got these pens from this album. That's also received a digital tape. So that is the tape that you see back there. So I think that was $200. Take a picture with him, get first access in. And then I paid for the VIP. Shout out to Biggie Crazy. I fell in love with the album a lot more because I got to share that with him. I fell in love with Saha, No Dope on Sunday, because that's the album that he was running at the time and he was the opener. So it was like I got more connected with him. I actually have a video where like in the front row he's like, dapping everybody up like from far, but then he gets to me and he like yo,
That's
I really
hard,
fuck
bro.
with you, bro. And like brings it in.
That's
like, you know what I'm
hard.
saying? Like he bring it in for me, and I'm just like, yo, man, I'm just like, thank you. I really enjoyed myself, but I don't see how you can fall in love with these artists.
Shout out my dog Cuzzo for the 10 gifted memberships, man. I appreciate you, bro. Again, shout out to my homie who got it, man. Make sure y'all say thank you to the homie Cuzzo Ed, bro. Chandra, Cecily, Verza, One Product, Austin, Maria, Brooklyn Style, God Screwface, Recovery Fishing, British Holloman. Shout out to him, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. He always blesses the chat, man. He always blesses the chat. Thank you so much, man. Make sure y'all say thank you to homie Cuzzo Ed when y'all get in here. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
When they're stuffed on these festival shows. That's basically what I'm saying. When you stuff all these artists on the festival shows,
You can't-
it's like Costco, it's
Right.
like Walmart. Got all these artists on this
you can't
one
really,
tape.
like-
You could barely read some of them.
Facts.
And for me, you can't really fall
Connect.
in love with artists that way. You know, you need a smaller, more curated environment to hear some of these artists, because sometimes this is the only way you're going to see these artists.
Right.
These artists are not doing shows anymore. People are not going to shows like that anymore. So the industry had to kind of figure out a way to give you that Costco's. You know what I'm saying? Bulk. Give you all of these artists in bulk, and then you got to come early. It's 3 days. People be on drugs. People be mosh pitting. Then you got to fight to get
Back
to the
be
front. You
hurting,
gotta come super
all of that.
early. And then I don't know if you could really leave. Like, I don't know how that works. People be passing out because they don't bring water. I'm just not for the festival. That's just, I haven't done one. And as much as I love music, I am more of an intimate setting. I like to get live
But
instrumentation.
I think I could respect both aspects of it too. Where like the festival, I do like finding new artists and learning new artists. Like that's what I liked about it. I don't like the crowded nature of it, and I don't like walking from end to end or whatever. Like, bro, my back hurt for like 3 days after that. And I love the intimate setting of music too, where like I think we went to like Joe's on Weed out here, and we saw a show there. I think it was Miguel. It was Miguel and ASAP Ferg, and that was one of the craziest shows ever, man. But I prefer an intimate setting too. I think I would prefer to hear music that way. But when it comes to festivals, I think I like being able to find new artists, but I hate the surroundings. That's just it.
I like to enjoy my artists, and I feel as though you can't connect with the artists on the festival stage. As things are shifting, which I'm gonna get into my third point, as things are shifting in the music industry,
There's a focus on streaming, AI.
Facts.
I think there's a focus on just replacing you guys, the
Human
artists.
beings, right? Yeah.
they're finding ways to cut corners, and because of that, you're not able to fall in love with the artist and get more intimate. So that mid-tier card where I would go see a Sci-Hi, a Big Crit at the Music Farm, that has kind of went away. Labels and artists are not taking those chances as much anymore.
Because
And
because they're looking at it in a way where they might make more going to a festival, because all those people are going to go to see X big act rather than you going to a local spot. They're going to probably make more over there. I don't know, but that's a great point.
And for the festival, get thrown in the festival, get the same bag, and don't really have to worry about not filling up 100-seater venue, 500-seater, 1,000-seater venue. So Big Crit is one of my favorite artists. I look at his career specifically as he went, this is my third point, as he went independent, you slowly stopped hearing about him. And I think that's my third point. The Medium 3 disappeared because artists started to ask for better deals. Labels were asking for too much. People started to become hip to these terrible 360 contracts, and people started to negotiate for better deals.
And I feel like Joe was saying this, Joe was saying like, y'all don't need the label, bro. Like, y'all don't need labels no more. Like, artists don't really need labels no more. And even something I remember where it was like, I think UMG just kind of seeing if you're doing enough for us to be putting as much as we are into like Drake. Like, they may not, like, that partnership may not, Drake probably don't need them no more either. Like, but I guess we'll never know. Unless they somehow separate. The problem is festivals tax a lot. The future will be artists making their own cities, buying land, and bringing people to them. Artists already doing it now. I can see that too. As you travel from the stage to stage to see the lineup, the whole place turns into a dance factory. That's very true.
only have distribution deals to where the label gets a different type of cut. So the label is not getting as much as they used to. So of course they're not going to promote these artists anymore. If they're only getting a fraction of what they used to get, they're not going to promote you. It's funny because I always know when you see a new 360 artist, because you hear about them a lot. You hear about them, they're everywhere. They're doing the traditional media runs, and you're like, the industry found them another sucker. I don't know. I don't know how to do it nowadays.
That's crazy to be able to see it that way. What up, Mel? It's crazy to be able to see it that way too, where it's like a lot of artists go independent and you don't hear about them as much unless they're doing an album run on their own, or they're doing their own promo or whatever. But then when you see an artist who just took that deal and you see him everywhere, you hearing him everywhere, you're like, the music may not be that good. Like, why are we hearing about him like that? But they're forced in our faces. It was kind of like what we saw on Complex, bro. We seen that on Complex a lot this year, where it was just like random people just getting promoted to hell on Complex. I was like, why?
Be a little bit better, but I know for a fact that as Big Crit specifically went independent, his last album on Def Jam was Forever Is a Mighty Long Time, and then you basically didn't hear about him. His last project solo was Digital Roses Don't Die. He did some other things with Currency and a bunch of different other people, but his last solo project was Digital Roses Don't Die, where he kind of took a different direction. I honestly believe Big Crit, if he had the support of the label as long as Andre 3000 did, he would be in that Andre 3000 conversation. I still personally put Crit in that conversation because his solo projects, he has more solo projects than Andre 3000. Of course, we know what Andre did with Outkast, but Crit hasn't had the label support and push. They kind of didn't really know what to do with him. So I look at his career a lot to say, man, what happened to the Medium 3? And as I look to the shifts in the priorities at the labels,
I think there's a focus on the world music, Latin and country and all of whatever their hot genre is,
and how hip hop is kind of going to independence and kind of, curating its own. You look at Kanye went independent. You look at Kendrick has gone independent. A lot of these artists are starting to cut out the middleman, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for them to get their shine. Their numbers aren't doing.
But we're getting better music. But we're getting better music too. And I think I prefer that, right? Like, we're getting better music.
As they once was when they had a bunch of hands in the pot when they were signed to these labels.
Some because too many people have,
because they're not having to rush their projects and give them what the label wants. They can make their own sound. They can experiment. They can do all of that, and I love it. I love it. Crit chose this path though. Like Lupe is another one. They both saw what could happen to people in rap. Or other medium like Dave Chappelle, and chose their path instead of selling out. Facts.
Have their hand in your pocket to let you fail.
Because let's keep it real. You were signed to that dude that would say he was signed to that dude that said he was signed. A lot of them very early on, that's how it was. I think Suge Knight, and don't take my word for it, but he said The Game and Kendrick Lamar had one of the worst contracts he's ever seen. And if you think about it, Kendrick came through TDE to Aftermath to Drake. It was a lot of people probably in that pot. And now I feel as though as these artists have moved away from this, the industry tries to make money off them in other ways, whether that means destroying their careers or that means not promoting them as much and promoting someone else. I believe that these three reasons are the main reasons as to why the mid-tier card in hip-hop disappeared. You can't get intimate at a show with them. You got to go to a festival. 2 thumbs down to festivals.
I wish I had more hands so I could give those 4 thumbs down.
Also, cultural norm shifting, people not wanting to promote or be a part of something that doesn't seem like it's mega, right?
Yeah.
Like, we are such in a world of extremes. There's no middle ground. To kind of explain that, me and my wife, my wife is white, I am black. I'm not the gangster type. She's not the ghetto type. We're actually pretty nerdy, you get what I'm saying? So socially, we don't have too many circles to group ourselves in because we're not on the tail end of either extremes. We work well for each other because we like this, we like that. We work very well together, but outside in the world where the cultural norms are so extreme, we don't have very many friends. And I believe that has played an effect into every industry, the music industry, all these different industries. So these are my reasons as
extremes.
To why the median.
The reasons are the extremes. It's like either you're really over here or you're really over there. I love that, bro. I agree 100%.
Disappeared. I kind of want to know, like, who was that medium 3? Is Future in the medium 3 or was Future big 3? Is Meek Mill medium 3? Was it Meek Mill, Wale?
Meek Mill, I don't really know if I even consider him medium 3. And maybe that's just Maybe that's just because I never really rock with him like that. But I would put Wale's run over his run, over Meek Mill's run. And then it depends on you might put Big Sean's run over Wale's run, but you definitely wouldn't put Meek over them. I think Meek was, I don't know. I don't put Meek there. And I think Future, I think you might have to put him in the big three of melodic artists. Like guys who came out and start putting melodies together. Lyrically, Future ain't never really like shocked nobody. But melodically, he took you to a different place. And I think he's the father of a lot of artists. But Big Three, there's different groups of Big Three. There's only a couple of them who do it all. And that's why people were putting Drake up there, even though he don't write nothing. That's why people were putting Drake up there. That's why you put Kendrick up there, because he can be melodic. Cole has been melodic. Drake has been melodic. And they also have bars, minus Drake. They also have bars. You know what I'm saying?
Big Sean? Who was it? Was it Meek Mill, Wale, Future? Like, was it Tyler? Who was that little medium
that's what I'm saying.
That just...
Even Tyler, though. Even Tyler deserves to be in his own, like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's different groups of Big Three, too, because Tyler is super experimental. And he's been melodic. And he has lyrics. And then he can be punk rockish. Then he could be grunge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just... I don't know, man. I think that I only think there's a couple of guys who really belong in the overarching Big Three. And then there's other guys, other people who belong in a different space.
This wasn't, some people are saying Tyler's in that Big Three now. Some people are saying Future's in the Big Three now, and J. Cole and Drake have moved. It's crazy. And the crazy thing is, at one point in time, the blog era guys, Kendrick, Drake,
never
and
gonna tell
Cole,
me
they
J.
were
Cole
considered to be
best
the mid-tier.
artists
Then they
ever.
reached mega status. So it was kind of funny to see how that switched.
Yeah, but that we know he writes, cuzzo. I know he writes. I know he doesn't write all of his music. He writes for other people, and that's good. That's good, but whenever he raps, we always have to consider if he wrote it or not.
Oh, shout out to FD Signifier.
What up, Ty? You all right, bro?
I explained it a little well and didn't step on his video. Like I said, I had this concept in my head for a little minute. You should definitely go check out his video. He went all the way back to Busta. I just wanted to bring it to a little bit something newer and fresher. These guys, all of these guys inspire me. It is 2025. It is going to be a dope year. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Let me know how you feel about what I talked about. The Medium 3. Yeah, man, I'm going to be giving y'all dope content all year, so stay tuned. Make sure you comment, like.
Hey, look, make sure y'all go check out my dog, Read My Soul, man. I appreciate him putting out this video. Definitely a good conversation. Definitely a good conversation. All right, that's going to do it for today's video, man. Like I said, we dropped a lot of commentary on that. Make sure y'all go like his video, go sub to him, all that good stuff. And we got a couple of videos to get into tomorrow. We dropped 4 videos today, all right? So we're going to get up out of here. We're going to take a rest for the rest of the day. But we got a couple of different ones we're gonna get into tomorrow. I got 2 lined up for y'all. We're gonna get into. Man, he said, man, I talked about Medium 3 back in 2017. I hear you, dog. Shout out my boy Deontay. All right, man. Like I said, hopefully I gained your subscription today. If I didn't, I'll get it next time. I promise you. But make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button. Sub up to the channel. We're on the way to 30K. I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.